Boy, James Gunn really knows how to tease the fans, and he dropped a little hint on various forms of social media, and I have to say, it's got me and many other people excited. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the possibility of Lobo being front and center in the upcoming new DCU. Now, as many of you know, DC Films, now known as DC Studios, is being headed up by James Gunn and Peter Safran. We know James Gunn will be focused on the creative side of the fence, and Gunn has a rather unique take on many characters that seems to connect with many fans. Now, they haven't given us a lot of ideas about what's coming next. They did talk a little bit about the 5 pillars of the DCU and which characters it's going to focus on. I've linked that video down below, but we know one of those characters will indeed be Superman. And one character who has faced off and teamed up with Superman several times is Lobo. Now, in the last year, we actually had a Superman vs. Lobo Black Label comic, and if you haven't read that, it is definitely worth a look. Lobo also showed up as part of the Man of Tomorrow animated movie, as well as being part of the Krypton television series, so his level of public exposure is now at an all-time high. He is a huge fan favorite, and somebody DC has teased coming to life on film for a really long time, and it looks like James Gunn is about to make good on that promise. Now, in my opinion, this makes a ton of sense, especially given the 5 pillars that he told us about the other day. Superman is one of those pillars, and Lobo has a long history with the Man of Steel. Now, this is a curious first choice, because I have to say, many people, myself included, were probably looking towards a more traditional Superman villain for the next Man of Steel movie, but we probably should wait and see, because more than likely there's more than just Lobo being a villain in this film. Now, if you're a fan of Lobo, you know he's really not what we would call a traditional villain. He is an anti-hero, and he does push the limits of morality to their absolute extreme, but he's definitely not what many people would refer to as a villain in the comics. I think if Gunn is working up some sort of story with Superman and Lobo, we might actually see a secondary antagonist, probably the behind-the-scenes guy, who's pitted the two against each other for his own motivations. If I was picking somebody from outer space, it could be a bit of a long list, but Brainiac, Mongol, and Darkseid all come to mind. Now, obviously Gunn hasn't provided any other details except the tease tweet, and I wouldn't expect much more from him for a really long time. I keep telling you guys, I don't expect any official announcements probably until Comic-Con, maybe WonderCon to make it a little earlier, but SDCC is the big comic event, and I think that's where the newly formed DC Studios will finally reveal their large plan, what they plan on doing with each of the 5 pillars, and a full film layout for the next couple of years. The fact that Lobo is going to be part of this should have everybody excited. I actually think not only would he make a great Superman antagonist, but if I was developing any series for HBO Max, I have to say, Lobo is absolutely perfect for that medium. Now, obviously, we're covering everything DC Films and this 10-year plan moving forward, so if you want to get all of the intergalactic news, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, and ring the bell for all the updates. But until we know more, what do you guys think? How do you feel about James Gunn teasing the potential of Lobo making it into the new DCU? And do you like the idea of him showing up in an upcoming Superman movie? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.